Resumes.
Resumes, yes.
Um, I'm going to ask you, what do you look for in a resume? Do you need a resume nowadays? Is it more like your LinkedIn profile? How do you stand out? Is really my question.
Yeah. Well, and I think I had mentioned this to you at one time. I'm not a great believer in resumes. However, I think that there's a caveat that goes with that, and it has to do with what I really do personally, and that influences my thinking in that area. And personally, I only deal with what are referred to as C-suite candidates. And the C-suite, as we know, is anything that has a C in front of it. So it's your chief executive, your chief operating, your chief financial, your chief. It's all the chiefs that are out there. And that individual, for the most part, really doesn't need a resume. They have a very viewable, already seen and understood history behind them. They have name recognition for the most part. They have sets of experiences which have been already um, written about or spoken about in publications, and so they really don't need a resume. They need perhaps a little capsule bio, but resume, which suggests something that's more extensive, don't think so. Now, if we're going to leave that grouping of people and talk about population by and large, and there are more Indians than there are chiefs in the world, then I think some form of document or resume is appropriate. I think if someone is going to have a resume, it can't be just a listing of where they've been and the positions that they've had. I think what everyone wants to know is what you accomplished. And so I think the trick in a resume is it for to be output. So what did what is the resultant of you having been in company XYZ? And what did you accomplish both in a qualitative and quantitative sense that proves that you had successes? So we're interested in evaluating people in the context of the successes that they've had up to this particular point in life. And successes are measured, and they're measured either qualitatively or quantitatively. So if you could have a few bullets which summarize your successes at the positions that you've had, that will go a long way towards getting you to be looked at and viewed in a positive manner.
So, Gary, go to a digital shop, everybody is in their early 20s or 30s, and you're a job seeker. Maybe you're a little older, maybe you're not, but how do you dress?
Right. That's another question I get all the time, by the way. And I get that question surprisingly, not only from uh, the young person who is navigating the marketplace, but I actually get that question from CEOs who just haven't been out in the marketplace looking for opportunities. How should I be dressing to go to this company? And so, first of all, there is no one answer. I think that you have to be smart enough and discerning enough to understand the culture of the company that you are looking at. So, for example, and I'll use brand names for this just because it's easily understood that way. If I am looking for an opportunity that is at MTV, and I use MTV because that's a brand that most people understand, and something pops up on the screen when they think of MTV, I would dress in one particular fashion. I would not wear a suit. I would be more business casual. I would not be totally casual because you don't know the particular level of willingness on the specific person that you're going to be seeing there. But I would be business casual. So what's business casual? Business casual could be a pair of slacks if you're a man, and a shirt. It could be open collar with no tie, and a sport jacket. Pretty casual, pretty safe. You could be just a bit over or a bit under, but certainly within a reasonable boundary of what's really acceptable there. As far as a woman is concerned, I think something that would be comparable to that. It could be I don't dress as far as clothes are concerned, but it could be a pair of slacks, or it could be a skirt and a nice blouse and sweater. But again, business casual. Now, if I'm going to a big company, and it is a bit more formal as we know it, and if it's one of the GEs of this world, I'm going to err on the side of being more formal than not. And we always run the risk of error, so it's which side of that error it makes sense for us to be at. But something like that, I would err on the side of wearing a suit, both from a woman and a man is concerned. And I think I'll be pretty safe then. If I'm going to a digital play and I walk in the door and I see that everyone's in jeans and t-shirts, which could very well be the case, I'm not going to be in jeans and t-shirts as a candidate. I'm again going to be casual. And if I know that they're really casual there, I'm going to go still with a pair of slacks and a nice open-collared shirt. And I think that's a safe way to approach it.